So hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another video, and this one is going to be about Proving Grounds and what went wrong with the implementation of the actual Proving Ground scenario. A lot of people have been messaging me lately, hey, I'm a boomkin and I can't even beat the gold challenge. You know, my guildies are already doing endless mode and they're doing fine, but I just can't even beat the gold challenge. I don't know what's going on. Well, this was a really good idea. Proving Grounds, they were a great idea. It was the thing I was looking forward to the most, even more than Siege of Orgrimmar. And it's a great concept, but it was executed very poorly. Let's take a look at some numbers. So the picture you can see on the screen right now is the tank score from Proving Grounds Endless Mode. Guardian Druid leading, but generally in the top 20 we have all the tanks. Next is healer score. Once again, we can see all the healers in the top 20, mostly dominated by monks and druids. I don't know much about monks, but druids are kinda overpowered right now. So dominated by druids and monks, druid once again on top. So rest of druids are doing really well. Now let's take a look at the DPS score from the endless mode. Where do you think is the first druid on the DPS leaderboard? Well, the first druid is actually Feral. His name is spelled Tyrre, and he's holding rank 583. Where do you think is the first boomkin? His name is Foki, spelled Foki, and he's rank 983. Yep, that's right. The best boomkin is rank 983. And I think I actually know why that is. So, here's why I think druids are doing so poorly in the DPS challenge or the endless mode for DPS. As you can see on the screen, I'm actually not doing the challenge mode with my druid. I'm doing it with my pally. Now this paladin does not have gems. Okay, she's missing a lot of enchants. She has almost no gems, and I don't even have expertise cap. No. But when I was doing this, I was not able to do gold, but that was just pure to the damage output. The raw damage output wasn't there, because this pattern isn't optimized for basically anything. I have her just for mining and occasional derping in 5-mans. I felt in control. While I was doing these, I felt like when I screwed up and when I actually failed in the gold challenge, it was my fault because I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. There is no RNG with paladins. It's just not happening, okay? Paladins are set. You have these cooldowns, you do these spells, and that's just it. The only thing that procs is Art of War, which is additional damage, but it's not the majority of your damage, okay? When I'm here as a boomkin, because your haste and your crit is scaled down so much, you're not hitting the haste breakpoint, which means your dots are useless, your casts are really long, and you're not proccing any shooting stars. Which means, A, you're basically a turret, and B, your DPS is cut in half, effectively. I had instances where I was doing the gold challenge, and the second to last wave with the big Shah. Even with cooldowns, I wasn't able to take down the Shah because I just didn't have the raw damage output. Okay, even with cooldowns and with the Berserker box, stuff was just not critting, I was not getting any shooting stars, and I was not able to defeat the second to last wave, even with cooldowns. Next very obvious thing with boomkins is interrupts. Boomkins don't have a reliable interrupt. On my pally, I can press C, and it's gonna interrupt something, and before the wave ends, it's gonna be back off cooldown. Boomkins have 1 minute cooldown on their interrupt. Other than that, we can talent for Mighty Bash, which is a 50-second cooldown stun. And if we need to interrupt something after that, we either need to glyph Fairy Fire, so that it silences and interrupts casts in bear form, or we need to jump into cat form, generate a combo point, and maim the target. Maim is the Druid stun for combo points. And both of these, jumping into bear form and using fairy fire, and jumping into cat form, generating combo point, and maiming the target, costs you a lot of time, which is something you don't have when you're doing gold and endless mode. So instead of pressing one button and interrupting something, we need to do these crazy stupid things in order to interrupt a bloody heal. Now let's talk about one really annoying thing, which is not enough time. When you're doing gold and endless, you have almost no time to prepare between waves. And that's what boomkins are all about. Boomkins are about preparation. If you're about to AoE, you need to be in a solar eclipse. If you're about to do some single target, or you have 3 targets, it's much better to be in lunar. It takes, if you're in lunar eclipse and you want to get to solar eclipse, it takes 8 seconds. You don't have 8 seconds. Which leads to another thing, that boomkins don't have a reliable AoE. And what I mean by that, as I've said before, you need to be in a solar eclipse in order to AoE. So if there is a big AoE wave and you're not in solar eclipse, you can start all over again. You just need to be in a solar eclipse. But here's the problem. Normally, you would deal with these things in a very simple way. You would just not get into an eclipse. Okay, you would cast the other spell, you would do slightly less damage for a short amount of time in order to explode with a lot of burst after a while. That's something you can't afford here. So the very basics of how boomkins work are just not here. You can't do the basic things. Okay, you can't do the basic things that boomkins need to do in order to actually do some damage, whether it's single target or AoE. And the last 2 things, first of them is on-demand burst. If you're outside of an eclipse, for instance, if you just left lunar eclipse and the Banshee appears, you're gonna shit your pants. Because casting Starfire and being out of an eclipse, not having Nature's Grace, that's a painful hard cast to do. So if you don't have Star Surge, you can actually die to the Banshees. And the last thing is probably one of the most irritating things in here. That is movement. Boomkins are turrets. Okay? Boomkins have nothing to do while moving. You can cast Moonfire and Sunfire, but if you have like 20% crit, which is what it will scale you down to, and you have no haste, you will do like 15k DPS on the move. And the shooting stars are not gonna proc, especially after the 5.4 nerf, where shooting stars proc way less from multiple targets. So you're basically a turret. When the monkey comes, oh my god, I want to kill the monkey. I want to kill the monkey and feed it to its children. I hate the monkey. You have to run around, and the only way to deal with it is to basically use Tree Ants, Force of Nature, in order to root it over and over again. But you're gonna waste so many of them. And there is also a chance that the roots will break after one cast. So you're just running after the monkey, nothing's proccing, you're doing 15k DPS, and you're gonna lose on the second wave, on the second gold wave. That's something that's gonna happen to you a lot. The second gold wave with the bloody monkey is one of the hardest, because you need to constantly move, otherwise you have no hit and you will run out of time anyway. So that's really annoying. And this is why I think boomkins are doing just so terrible. They have so terrible. The results are just bad. Okay? And Feral Druids, they need mastery and crit. As a Feral Druid, if you don't have mastery, your bleeds are useless. And if you don't have crit, you don't have combo points. You just don't. If you crit as a Feral Druid, you get 2 combo points. And if you're not critting, and you're not getting double combo points, you just don't have enough combo points to do stuff. Okay, you're gonna be there, you're gonna be auto-attacking. You have no haste of any description, you just have no haste. So your energy regen is shite. And you're just standing there auto-attacking, hoping for a crit. Okay? So this is why I think this is really bad. Okay? Feral Druids doing slightly better. They're around 500 rank. But Boomkins, the best Boomkin is rank 1000, for God's sake. That's not right. There is almost 1,000 people. And this is the best Boomkin. That's the Boomkin that managed to get the farthest in Endless Mode. And he's still almost rank 1000. That's insane. Blizzard needs to do something with this. I don't think they realize how the downscaling affects different classes. But anyway, I've rambled for long enough. I hope I gave you some valid reasons and you understand why Boomkins are doing very well. They're doing really badly. And if you're a Boomkin, don't be sad. No one's doing great. Okay? So don't be sad. No one's doing great. And that's it from me. I don't want to talk anymore. This has been long enough. Thank you a lot for watching and listening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.